What if I told you that one jet could take off from the deck of an aircraft carrier, dogfight with enemy fighters at supersonic speeds, unleash precision-guided bombs on ground targets, and then come back home to land on a moving ship in the middle of the ocean? That jet exists. And it's called the McDonnell Douglas F/A-18 Hornet. The F/A-18 is not just a fighter. It's a multi-role combat aircraft, a true workhorse that has proven itself across decades of service. From the Cold War to the War on Terror, from U.S. Navy carriers to the air forces of nations around the world, the Hornet has been a symbol of flexibility, reliability, and raw combat power. In this video, we're going to dive deep into what makes the F/A-18 Hornet so special. We'll explore its origins, its unique design features, its incredible performance in the air, and how it continues to shape modern air combat. Stay with me until the end, because the Hornet story is not just about one aircraft, but about how one design created an entire family of jets that still dominates the skies today. Let's begin. Introduction and history. The story of the F/A-18 begins in the 1970s. At the time, the United States Navy needed a lightweight, carrier-capable fighter that could replace aging aircraft like the A-7 Corsair II and complement the heavier F-14 Tomcat. They wanted something more affordable, more versatile, and easier to maintain. McDonnell Douglas and Northrop stepped up with a design that was based on the earlier YF-17 Cobra prototype. After modifications and improvements, this design evolved into the F/A-18 Hornet. The F/A designation was unique. It stood for fighter/attack, highlighting the aircraft's dual-role capability. Unlike most jets of the era, which were specialized either for air-to-air or air-to-ground missions, the Hornet could do both. The first F/A-18 Hornet flew in 1978, and by 1983, it was entering service with the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps. From the start, it was clear this jet was something different. Design features. One of the first things you notice about the F/A-18 is its sleek, aerodynamic shape. The Hornet is powered by two General Electric F404 turbofan engines, giving it both power and reliability. Twin engines are crucial for carrier operations. If one fails, the other can still bring the jet home. The jet has leading-edge extensions, or LEX, which are small aerodynamic surfaces running from the wing roots to the cockpit. These help generate additional lift at high angles of attack, which improves maneuverability during dogfights. The result is a jet that's nimble, agile, and capable of pulling tight turns in combat. Another standout feature is the Hornet's digital fly-by-wire system. At a time when many jets still relied on mechanical controls, the F/A-18's computer-assisted controls gave it unprecedented stability and responsiveness. Pilots could push the aircraft to its limits without worrying about losing control. Of course, being a carrier-based jet, the Hornet was designed with rugged landing gear, an arrestor hook for carrier landings, and folding wings to save space on crowded flight decks. These design choices made it perfectly suited for life at sea. Performance. So how does the Hornet perform? Let's look at some numbers. The F/A-18 has a maximum speed of Mach 1.8, which is about 1,190 miles per hour at altitude. It has a combat radius of around 400 nautical miles, depending on the mission profile, and a service ceiling of about 50,000 feet. Thanks to its advanced aerodynamics, the Hornet can execute high-G maneuvers with ease. It's not the fastest jet in the world, nor does it have the longest range, but what makes it special is its ability to perform multiple missions effectively. For air-to-air combat, the Hornet can carry AIM-7 Sparrow, AIM-9 Sidewinder, and AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles. For ground attack, it can deliver a wide variety of bombs, including precision-guided munitions like DAMs and laser-guided bombs. And let's not forget the 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon housed in its nose, capable of firing 6,000 rounds per minute. Combat record. The F/A-18 has seen extensive combat use. It made its combat debut in 1986 during Operation El Dorado Canyon, the U.S. airstrikes against Libya. Hornets also played a major role in the Gulf War of 1991, where they demonstrated their versatility by shooting down enemy fighters and striking ground targets in the same mission. In fact, during the Gulf War, two F/A-18s famously shot down Iraqi MiG-21s while en route to their bombing targets. After downing the enemy fighters, they continued on to complete their bombing run successfully. This kind of mission flexibility perfectly showcases the Hornet's multi-role capability. Since then, the F/A-18 has served in conflicts across the Middle East, the Balkans, and Afghanistan. It has been a reliable workhorse, proving itself again and again in real combat. Export and global use. The Hornet wasn't just used by the US. Several allied nations also adopted it. Countries like Canada, Australia, Spain, Finland, Switzerland, and Malaysia all operated F/A-18s. Each nation adapted the Hornet to its own needs, but the core strengths of the aircraft remained the same. For example, Australia's Hornets served for decades before being replaced by the F-35 Lightning II. Canada still operates upgraded CF-18s today, with distinctive paint schemes for special occasions. These international users helped cement the Hornet's reputation as one of the most successful fighters of its generation. Evolution into the Super Hornet. While the F/A-18 Hornet was a success, technology never stands still. In the 1990s, an upgraded and larger version was developed, the F/A-18E/F Super Hornet. This new version had more powerful engines, greater range, increased payload capacity, and advanced avionics. The Super Hornet has since replaced the original Hornet in US Navy service, but the legacy of the original design lives on. Without the Hornet, there would be no Super Hornet. Unique selling points. So what makes the F/A-18 Hornet truly stand out? First, its versatility. Few jets in history have been able to seamlessly perform both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions as effectively as the Hornet. Second, its carrier capability. The Hornet was specifically designed to operate from aircraft carriers, giving it the ruggedness and flexibility needed for naval aviation. Third, its reliability. Pilots and ground crews alike praise the Hornet for being easy to maintain compared to more complex aircraft like the F-14. This meant more jets were ready to fly when needed. Finally, its combat record. The Hornet has proven itself in real-world conflicts across decades, and that track record speaks volumes. Legacy. Today, while the original F/A-18 Hornet is gradually being phased out in favor of newer aircraft, its legacy is undeniable. It shaped modern multi-role fighter design, inspired the creation of the Super Hornet, and left a mark on aviation history that will never be forgotten. The Hornet showed the world that one aircraft really could do it all. So, the next time you see a sleek twin-engine fighter roaring off the deck of an aircraft carrier or flying in formation at an airshow, remember the F/A-18 Hornet. It's more than just a jet. It's a legend that combines speed, agility, power, and versatility into one package. The Hornet proved that being a jack of all trades doesn't mean being a master of none. In fact, it became a master of both. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the F/A-18 Hornet, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more aviation history and fighter jet breakdowns. Because the skies are full of stories, and we're just getting started.